Hey guys, Craig from Bass Lessons Melbourne here. Today in this video I'm going to talk about the Bootsy Collins groove from my Fonk Bass Masters groove mashup video I did a while back. Bootsy Collins, obviously one of the biggest names in funk music and in bass. Started out playing bass in James Brown band, so I'm guessing you got a pretty good schooling in groove back then. Some of the things that stand out or come to mind when people think about Bootsy Collins would be things like the funk, you know, the one, he's always talking about, yeah, it's all about the one baby, as he would say. Amazing sunglasses, and also his use of effects and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk about a few of those things today in this video. But first off, I'm going to play the groove for you, which you can download from basslessonsmelbourne.com. Go over there and sign up and you get free downloads of all the PDFs for all my lessons. So I'm going to play it a little bit slower than what it is in the original video to give you a chance to see what's really going on. Okay, so one of the first things I want to talk about with this groove is the use of effects. So Bootsy was kind of one, along with Larry, I would say, one of the first guys to really push the boundaries with using effects on bass. He used a lot of envelope filters like Q-trons and mu-trons. He used fuzz and distortion, and then he would even use like delay and echo and that kind of stuff. So for this groove, what I've done is I've got my pedal board down there and I've set up, in order, I'm going into a Boss OC2, and then I'm going into MXR M80DI Plus on the distortion, on the grind channel, and then from that I'm going into an Aguilar filter twin for the envelope filler. So, you know, if you've got some pedals at home, experiment with different orders, you know, different pedals react differently. See what works for you. So you can hear that it's got that the fuzz and the thickness from the octave, and then it's got the kind of vocal quality that you get from the envelope filter. So yeah. Experiment, see what works for you. The other thing that helps make a Bootsy groove sound like a Bootsy groove is just this incredible pocket. I mean, if you want to get a party started, then put on a record with Bootsy on it and you'll be on the right track. So pay attention to really nailing it on the one. That's the kind of big heavy part of the bar. In this style, in this groove anyway, is playing on the one, and then he'd play on the one, and then he'd kind of do all these funky subdivisions in between, but he'd always come back and lock it in. It was kind of like, you know, like train, the wheels of a train. It's like, and one, and bringing it back round. So make sure you do that. A few of the other things is his use of space and note articulation. So unlike guys like maybe Jacko and Rocco, who are well known for being more of a stream of sixteenths, not all the time, but predominantly, you know, they would have fairly busy bass lines. Bootsy he chose his notes sparingly for maximum impact. And wrapped up in that is his articulation within those notes, which I'll probably do a video on pretty soon on how note length can affect groove. So for example, the opening bar sounds like this. So opening 2 bars. And on beat 3, so you got 1, 2, and 3. On beat 3, there's a staccato marking on that E flat. Now, if I was to change that and play that beat 3 as a long note, it would really change the feel of the groove. So check this out. So that the note length and the articulation really help with the characteristic of the groove. Also, I'm doing a hammer-on from the D to the E flat. Just, I find it works better with the envelope filter that way, because when you pluck again, you'll re-trigger the envelope filter. So just those kind of subtle differences and nuances help define the characteristics. What else? Well, I guess the classic thing would be the tonality that he bases a lot of his lines around, which is kind of Dorian Mixolydian flavour. So you've got F Mixolydian, F Dorian. So pretty similar. Mixolydian has a major third, Dorian has a minor third, and that's kind of what gives a lot of these lines a kind of flavour. As well as the main thing would be the use of the major 6th to the flat 7th. So in this case, the root is F, the 6th is D, and then the flat 7th is E flat. And that's on hundreds, if not thousands, of funk grooves and riffs. It's just a classic go-to sound for this kind of music, for good reason, because it works well and it sounds good. So a lot of his lines are based around that kind of Mixolydian, Dorian, even pentatonic kind of thing. And one thing that we can, for your own lines, that you can think about doing is varying up the octaves that you use. So in this example, most of the time I'm going root on the low F and then high D and high E flat. But there's a section in here where it actually goes to the low D to the E flat. So I'm taking the 6th and the flat 7th below the root. So we get this kind of effect. So by using just the same notes but varying the octave and the range that you're using them in, you can actually change up your bass line and give it a little bit more interest without having to, change the actual harmonic content of the groove too much. What else? I think that's about it. Maybe we talk a little bit about the fills at the end. So at the end of the turnaround of each one, the first one we've got so it's basically an F minor, and then from the 4th to the flat 3. And then the second turnaround is using the 6th and the flat 7th. And then at the end we've got that slide up, and we're doing the 4th to the flat 3rd, an octave higher. So similar to before, but just 1 octave higher. And one other thing that I forgot to mention with the articulation and note length is on beat 1, when we're playing that low F, I've articulated it so there's a slide down from that. And that just really helps give it solidity and presence on beat 1 on that F. So you might just want to practice that a little bit, making sure that you can do the slide and get back up to the 6th and the flat 7th in time. So, because you can't lose the groove. But it really helps make that one kind of thick and fat and wide. So yeah, that's my Bootsy Collins groove lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you head over to basslessonsmelbourne.com, and sign up. You can get exclusive PDF downloads of all my lessons and a few things more. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.